Seth Godin, in his book Tribes, said to lead, what you need to do is paint a picture of the future. Go there and people will follow. You see, it's clear and it's obvious, but in some ways maybe it's too simplistic, because what it doesn't tell you is what you need to do to lead the team of people that you want to come with you. So I want to talk to you today about what it is to lead a team. And I want to talk to you about the 5 Ds of leadership to create and maintain a high-performing team. So let me explain what those 5 Ds are for you. You see, we've got 5 Ds for this 5-dimensional team leadership: direction, doers, drive, delegation, and development. And if you as leader can work on these 5 areas, you can create and maintain a high-performing team. So the first D in 5D leadership is to have direction, is to have a really clear purpose that you know and can instill in your team so you can all work together on the one thing and the one purpose. It's about being really clear, not on the what that you're doing or the how that you're doing, but the why that sits beneath it. And so are you able to articulate clearly and succinctly what your purpose is in the direction that you're heading? So let me give you an example of that. For Everyday Leader, our purpose is to inspire and equip people. It's to inspire people to realise that actually they can be a leader of themselves and a leader of others. And it's to equip them with the knowledge and the skills enabled to do that. That's our why. Our what are things like this video, coaching, training, podcasts, books. All of the whats point and lead towards the why and the purpose. And for us, working for Everyday Leader, anybody working in the team of Everyday Leader knows that what we do is to inspire and equip people, because we want to bring confidence in what they're doing. So the first thing as leaders is to get yourself really clear. Maybe start with the what of what you're doing, but then ask yourself the question, why? Why? Maybe work through 5 whys until you can get to the real kernel and the purpose of what you're doing. So when you're clear on what your why and your purpose is, it's being able to work with those that you're with to help them to resonate that purpose in them too. Start to think about what drives them and communicate the purpose of the organisation back to them. And lastly, a key point of direction is able to make sure that you and your team know what success looks like. Really take time to work out with them what does success look like. So if you're trying to work out, have you got your direction clear when you're leading the team? Here are a couple of key review questions for you to ask. Do you have a clear and resonating why? And are you clear on what success looks like? Ask yourself those 2 key questions. And if you think, well, what could I do then? I have my team already. Maybe try these things. Ask yourself, what is your why? And ask yourself 5 times until you can get to the real kernel of it. So with 5D leadership, if you remember, our first one was to know the direction that you're heading in and have a real clear purpose and reason why. Our second one is to have doers. And doers is about having the right people in the right roles working for you. Patrick Lencioni, in one of his brilliant books, he talks about the right kind of people you want on board are those that are humble, hungry, and smart. That means that they've got a natural humility. It's not all about themselves, it's actually about the team. That they're hungry, they're really keen to want the best and to get the best for your organisation. And that they're smart. Smart doesn't mean just intelligent up here. It means emotionally intelligent, knowing how to work with other team members and knowing how to work towards that same direction together. So when you've got the right people, it's also about making sure you've got them in the right roles. You can see here on screen, I've got 2 famous rugby players, Martin Johnson and Jonny Wilkinson. Both of them excellent players in their particular roles. Jonny Wilkinson, great fly half, Martin Johnson, great second row. Put them in the other roles, they wouldn't have been quite so great. So it's about looking at your team members and seeing the roles that you've got and getting the best fit. It's about really discovering what are the strengths of each person and trying to get them working more in their strength areas and less in the areas that they feel weaker at. So this second one of doers is about getting the right people on your team in the right roles. And so some key questions for you. Have you got those right people? And have you got them in the right role? And ask your team, maybe sit them down and say, look, here are 3 key components we want from people on our team. They've got to be humble, hungry, and smart. And ask them to say, which one is the weakest one for you? Could be a great discussion starter just to make sure you've got the right doers on the team. So if you remember, we're looking at 5D leadership. We've got direction is number 1, having the right doers on your team is number 2, and the third one is around delegation. As the leader of your team, you need to make sure you've got a simple goal that everybody knows, but also that each individual knows what their role is within it. That there are really clear processes, that people know what their job is, but also know how their job fits alongside other people's job. In other words, if I do my job well, what I need to be doing to help this person here, so that they can do their job well too. It's about making sure people have alignment and understand the fit that goes with it. So if you're thinking about some key questions to ask yourself, are there clear roles for everybody? Have you got job descriptions? Are they simple and clear enough to understand? And do people know what they need to do in order to help their teammates do their job well too? And so maybe if you're thinking about your existing team, ask your team to put their job description perhaps in 1 sentence, so everyone clearly knows what their key role and their key purpose is, and get them to share that amongst themselves. So with 5D leadership, if you remember, we've got number 1 is direction, having a really clear purpose and why that everyone is clear on. Number 2, that you've got doers, you've got the right people in the right role. Number 3, delegation, making sure that there is a clear goal for everybody. Everybody knows their job and knows how it fits with other people on the team. And then we've got number 4, which is drive. This one is really important for you as the leader. As leader, you should be constantly and regularly driving and impassioning people in the purpose and the vision. That doesn't mean that when somebody first starts, you just give them this big speech and that's it. It should be about us constantly reminding people. We should be chief reminding officers for your team, telling them what the vision and the purpose is. It's about endorsing that high performance by regularly celebrating and sharing where you're seeing it working well. Creating what I call those meerkat moments, when you're praising somebody over here and everyone else looks to that direction. What is it that they're doing then that's getting the praise? And you're celebrating and sharing those successes. So if you're looking at key questions to help you with this one, asking yourself, do you endorse high performance? Are you regularly saying the standard that you expect and reminding people and celebrating it? And are you celebrating the team and individual successes around that area? And with your existing team, perhaps once a week, make sure you're impassioning the team as a whole. And maybe each day, making sure you're celebrating an individual, either telling them or celebrating them in front of others for the work that they're doing. That constantly driving and impassioning your team is something that keeps people focused on the goal. So here we are. We're on the 5th of the 5 Ds of 5D leadership. If you remember, number 1 is direction, having a real clear purpose and why as to what sits underneath the whats that you do. It's about having doers, having the right people in the right roles on your team. It's about delegation. Everyone clearly knows their role that they're playing and how their role fits with other people. And number 4, if you remember, was about you as leader driving and impassioning people in the purpose and the vision, celebrating successes, celebrating results, and highlighting the good performance that you expect. And then we come to number 5. Number 5 is development. Development for me is really key. If you want your team to continue to perform to a high standard, it's about you being purposeful in developing the members of your team. And it's also about listening to them, finding out from them what do they see is working and what they see isn't working, creating a culture of open and honest review. Matthew Syed talks about this as black box thinking, creating a culture where people feel it's okay to bring things forward to discuss and looking at ways that you can improve things, looking for those marginal gains and changes. And that's about you as a whole team, as well as helping people see that for them as individuals. That ability to reset things and improve things as individuals and as a team. So if you're looking for a question or questions to help you review this one, it's about, do you plan the support and development of your staff? Are you purposeful in looking at ways to coach, to mentor, to develop them? And is there an openness to review and improve things? Have you created that culture? And so if you want some instant things to do, perhaps in a review meeting, ask what's working well and what could be even better. What's one change that we could make in this area that would have the greatest positive change? So here we are, we've gone through them all. 5D leadership. This is the thing that will help you have a high-performing team. And it starts with you as leader having a clear direction, but making sure that clear direction, which is simple and succinct, that your whole team know about it and you're constantly reinforcing it. It's about having doers, the right people on the team in the right roles. It's making sure that each one of them has clear delegation as well, that they know what they're doing and they know how their job fits with other jobs there too. It's about you having the drive as a leader, impassioning people on a daily basis about the purpose and the vision and where you're seeing the high performance in that area and you're highlighting it. And lastly, it's about a purposeful development of people in your team, looking to plan their development to ensure that they are performing at their very best, but also creating a culture of open and honest review to develop the way you're operating as a team too. So I hope this review of 5D leadership has helped you. And here we have, of course, the summary questions that we've gone through in this video. You might like to do a RAG review where you red, amber or green it as to how you feel you're performing. And that gives you an area as leader of the team to see where you need to put your energies to improve things. And so remember, there is a series of, through this video, some simple things that you could do with your current team to involve them in that 5D leadership too.